When the voters went to the polls on November 5th, they elected the former President Donald Trump and gave him the trifecta of a Republican Congress. Trump's historic win in the presidential election was not only wide, but also representative of an almost decade worth of demographic shifts in the electorate. These massive shifts combined to give Trump and his party their first win in the popular vote since 2004. In this video, we will analyze these demographic shifts through 3 representative counties that together will uncover the story of the 2024 US election. The first county we will cover is Miami-Dade County in southern Florida. Miami-Dade County is the largest in size and population in Florida and hosts the city of Miami. Miami-Dade is the economical and urban heart of Florida with more than 2.5 million citizens. Being such an urban county, it had been a Democratic stronghold in previous elections, often handing Democrats massive majorities in the county. Obama and Clinton had both won it by more than 25 points, but since 2016, a massive shift has occurred inside the Hispanic vote. In 2020, Biden scraped a win in Miami by 7 points. Now in 2024, Trump is the first Republican in 36 years to outright win the county, and he won it by more than 12 points. Across these elections, we can observe a staggering 40-point swing towards the Republicans. This swing is not just specific to Miami-Dade, but is also representative of a larger nationwide trend of Latinos breaking for Trump. Democrats had been hoping, like in 2016, that Trump and his associates' rhetoric surrounding illegal immigration and other problematic comments made by the campaign, like those at Madison Square Garden targeting Puerto Ricans, would drive Hispanics to vote against Trump. However, the results in Miami-Dade show that, like in the rest of the country, a large part of Hispanic voters do share many opinions with Trump. When polled, Hispanics frequently rank illegal immigration and the economy as the major issues, which Trump polled highly in. While Harris still won a slim majority of Hispanic voters, Trump made massive gains with them, turning a solid demographic into an almost 50-50 split, and in turn has turned the traditional swing state of Florida into a Republican stronghold. The second county I'm going to cover also reflects a general shift, but it represents a much more broad and national shift. Suburban County in Georgia is a small and rural county, consisting of only 14,000 people. Only about 6,500 of those people voted in the last couple of elections, and the county is quite an unremarkable one if you only look at the surface. Yet it consistently voted Republican with decent margins and seems like a standard rural Republican county. However, we should understand this county as a part of a larger story and interpret its results as part of a small but wide shift. Unlike Miami-Dade, which had a central role in the Hispanic vote and was also reflected of a massive shift, Suburban County is one of many counties that had a smaller but much more wide shift towards Trump. The rural shift was an unreported story because of how marginal the swing was, but as an effect of how wide it was, it had a major impact on the results, not just Suburban but nationwide. Trump's gains here were not only consistently repeated across the state of Georgia, but also across the whole of the United States, in most rural counties. This nationwide rural shift, however, was more like a shift back from 2020, where Suburban and other rural counties showing results similar to 2016. Evidently, traditional Republican states the Democrats had seen gains in, like Georgia, Arizona, and North Carolina, are now back to similar state as before 2020. So, what Suburban County can tell us about this election was that Democrats had lost marginal gains in the rural countryside and have been sent back to 2016 level. This third and last county in Pennsylvania, however, was what ultimately spelled doom for Democrats this election, as it showed Democrats' lack of progress with the electorate. Montgomery County in Pennsylvania is the third biggest in the state by people and sits right next to the city of Philadelphia, one of the biggest cities in the US. The county is largely a suburban one that has consistently voted for Democrats since 1992, but it has in recent elections drifted towards the Democrats. This drift has largely been from Democratic gains in suburban areas, linked to the increase in white college-educated people who has a higher income than the average American. For reference, in the US as a whole, 61% are white and roughly 32% have a bachelor's degree or higher, compared to Montgomery County, where 77% are white and 52% have a bachelor's degree or higher. These white college-educated high-income earners had been drifting towards the Democrats since Trump's arrival in 2016. Montgomery County is a typical example of this, as it had increased with almost 40,000 people since 2020. Most of the growth is concentrated in the suburbs of Philadelphia, where the people moving into the suburbs are traditional Democratic supporters with college degrees. Democrats were hoping that this long-going trend would continue even into 2024. But it seems like those years of Democratic gains had now been lost. Democrats needed overperformances in counties like Montgomery to counteract the Republican gains elsewhere. But as polls show, Democratic turnout was low, and they were not able to mobilize suburban voters like those in Montgomery. In fact, Trump did very well in suburban areas, and even won over groups like white suburban women by 7 points. These gains are very important ones, as according to exit polls, roughly half of voters were in suburban areas. And in recent elections, suburban voters have developed into a mega swing demographic, especially since the winner of the suburbs has won in the last 11 out of 12 elections, all the way to 1980. Ultimately, Trump won the suburbs as a whole 51 to 47%, giving him the presidency. So those are the three counties that can tell us about the story of the 2024 election. This was a blend of Republican gains, Democratic losses, and electoral trends that made this election. As you saw, all of these were favorable for Trump and the Republicans as Democrats struggled to meet the 2020 high. If you like this video, please subscribe and press like on this video. Please also comment down below for your thoughts on this topic.